Welcome. This is Real People, Real Places, and Real Answers, sponsored by Get Involved in Your Community. Before we go any further, let's do a little housekeeping, okay? The website address is www.getinvolvedinyourcommunity.com, and the email address is getinvolvedmobile@aol.com. Put the website address in your address bar, and the website will come right up. Give us an email. Send us an email so we can hear from you. Today, we before took a walk down memory lane, and as I said, I'm just reiterating. Today, we're going to go over the brochure. The brochure has services, it has the details, it has the information about what People Street Mobile is all about. This is such an exciting time. You're going to love that you tuned in today. I guarantee you. I'm going to be looking down at my brochure because there's pertinent information I have to make sure that I convey with the viewership. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to look at the information. So I hope you don't mind. We'll just recap a little bit from before, and I like to do that. So if anyone were tuning in that hadn't watched our show before, they know a little bit about what we did. Well, we described our past, our present, and we shared a little bit about where we're going. Our past, we talked about the incorporation of getting involved in your community, that Will wanted to have a voice, and he couldn't do it through other agencies and programs and corporations. So therefore, he incorporated what else? His own. And then, secondly, we said from the parent company, Get Involved in Your Community, which is a non-for-profit, a 501c3, that birthed Real People, Real Places, and Real Answers. And I just gave a nugget. How did that come about? That after a on-the-site showing of our service, of our show, well, before that started to air, I was asked, what are you going to call it? And the revelation came, Real People, Real Places, and Real Answers. And I know we're keeping it genuine. We're feeding large doses of encouragement, large doses of inspiration, motivation, and upliftment to our viewers. After all, we feed ourselves those ingredients as well. And then lastly, the newest child, the most recently born, is called People Street, People Skills Training. Very much akin to work readiness training. It's been done so often, so many ways. However, what I said to you is that Will and I both were sharing the different services that we've seen under work readiness training. We said, you know what? It's always focusing in on paying attention to developing those work-related relationships with others, but never with oneself. And we agreed at that point we were going to incorporate that in our training, but we call it People Street, People Skills Training. Well, today you're going to get a real look at what that's all about. Yeah, we kept it undercover to a certain extent. Sure, we've shared pieces of information in here and there, but you're going to get the maybe not complete picture, but a very good look at it. Well, Get Involved in Your Community operates People Street Mobile. And we said that on our brochure, we have a picture of the inside of a mobile unit, and we clarified, we gave a caveat that not exactly does the mobile unit, our mobile unit, look like this, but there are a lot of similarities, so that's what you'll see. And we said that People Skills Training Mobile is the first path in helping trainees to connect with their vision, or their dream. You know, we often have something that we're moving toward, but frustration and disappointment and anger and shame and embarrassment. Oh, I can keep on going. Get in the way. We say, oh, forget it. Why even bother? Well, yeah, bother. Okay? Time should not be the element that you give yourself a pass on in achieving it. No way, no how. Yes, it takes time. And yes, it becomes frustrating. And yes, sometimes you say, oh, I just don't think there's any hope in this. Hope is not made ashamed. You just keep at it. Others will join you if you invest in yourself first. But going on to what the brochure says, it says it's a first path, just recapping, first path in trainees connecting with their dreams and their visions. It takes the People Street training in a mobile unit to communities. One of the fast food restaurants says, have it your way. Well, you can have it your way. We're coming to you. Just like your dental mobile unit or your library mobile unit or your health mobile unit reaches out and goes into the community. Well, we're bringing that work readiness training, which we call People Street, a people skills training. We're bringing it to the community. It may well be at a place of employment, Burger King, McDonald's. Basically, it's for the ages 14 to 21. But we can move the needle or the gauge up, or we can move it down, because it's for any generation of people. It doesn't mean that just because you're 14 to 17, or 21, I should say, 14 to 21, you're the only one that has a dream. You're the only one that has a vision. No. People have a passion for a goal, and sometimes they accomplish it, and sometimes they don't. We're here to help you accomplish it, but by way of people skills training. So going on, what is this people skills training mobile about? Brings real people, real places, and real answers. You can call it a show, or you can call us a service, in a mobile unit to the communities. And we come to you. Yeah, we come to you. So this real people, real places, real answers, as I started out at the very beginning, as an intro to our program or service, you have an opportunity to be on television as one of our guests. So the training is going to be taking place in our mobile unit, which we're bringing to communities, and it's going to be aired on Channel 15. Where? On Real People, Real Places, and Real Answers. Of course, we're going to get all the permissions that we need signed in terms of doing that, because the ages are 14 to 21. But we very much are encouraging not only adults to watch our show or service, we are inspiring youth to watch it as well. We're going to talk about why. What's the benefit in watching it? You just stay tuned. There is going to be several, I started to say tracks, there are, and components to this People Street or People Skills training. Occasionally I will expand the term People Street to People Skills training, but I think by now most of our viewers know when I say People Street what I'm talking about. So I'll just abbreviate it, but you well know that I'm talking about people skills training. So here we go. The tracks are, there's going to be a fast track. Like when you go to a fast food restaurant, it's just that. It serves up food quickly. I'm not saying the type of food, okay? Hopefully you're buying salads, right? Yeah, sure. There's also a middle track as well as a long track. So you can connect wherever you need. You may connect in terms of the fast track and say, okay, this training is important to me. I only have 2 days to get it. So we have to hit the ground running with you to train you in terms of this People Street. Or you may say, I have more time to spend between say 2 to 3 weeks. And that's the middle track. And then the last track, you say, I even have more time than that. This means so much to me. I want as much training as I can get. And that's going to be 4 weeks of people skills training. So we have a week, which, let me retract something. There's a week of training. However, we're probably only going to be in the community, a particular community, for 2 to 3 days. So fast track, 2 to 3 days of People Street. Middle track, it's going to be 2 weeks of People Street. And then long track, it's going to be 4 weeks. So 1 week, 2 3 days, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 days, and then 4 weeks, 2 to 3 days. So there you have it. You have different levels that you connect with People Street. Have it your way? You betcha. People Street Mobile is resiliency focused. There's been enough of stopping, enough of being arrested with disappointment, with frustration, with anger. Enough of that. That's been a deal breaker for too long. It's over. It's over now. Resiliency is about springing back, bouncing back, getting over the obstacles, over the hurdles. It's about not letting anything, anybody, or any situation stop you. Basic People Street blocks for life. This is what that is about. Generically sets a strong foundation for all trainees. For example, building up problem-solving skills, building up social competence. Have you ever gone to a situation you felt uncomfortable, but you still knew how to approach it? You still knew how to maneuver and relate to those in that situation? Well, social competence, that's what it's about. It's about relating in healthy ways and not allowing yourself to avoid, escape it because you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, we do. But you get over that. That's what resiliency is about. It's about getting over that feeling of uncomfortableness. And it also builds up emotional regulation. Oh, that's so important. Coping skills. How do I regulate my temper? How do I regulate my emotions? How do I put a thermostat on it and dial it down when need to? You know, if you're trained, then you're going to revert back to your training. So if someone says something, your first point is not going to be a reaction, it's going to be a response. And say, say for example, someone says something to you that is really incendiary, and you say to that person, and sometimes you can say to the person, the way you said it made me feel so little. It made me feel devalued. It made me feel so angry. And let's talk about that a little bit. Now we're dealing. It's not I'm dealing with my fists. I'm not dealing with threats. I'm not dealing with a gun. I'm dealing with how I feel. And you can say, yeah, I meant for you to feel that way. And you can say, well, okay, but I'm choosing to deal with our conversation another time. I gotta get away from it. I gotta walk away. That's healthy. That's healthy. Yeah, I do know. Point well taken. In some situations, you can't walk away. Okay? Take a mental break in your head. Take a vacation in your head. Do not allow that person or situation to get the better of you. You are better than that. You're bigger than that. Well, that's what People Street, building blocks for life, is all about. And the better person to do the training with that is Will. Oh my goodness. He has so many experiences. He's done so many different kinds of things that he knows how to conduct this training from two vantage points. From the vantage point of having been there and done that, and the vantage point of having seen others go through it. Then secondly, talking about People Street Mobile being resiliency focused, we said basic People Street building blocks for life. I just went over that. The next one is practicum, second chance to succeed. We've heard this. If only I could do it over again. You can. Now you can. Yeah. Practicum is going to come into play after every trainee is going to receive that basic People Street, because that's the foundation. That's the building block. And then on that, everyone who wants to will become part of the practicum. The practicum is just that. It's a real situation wherever you are. You're going to employ, you're going to demonstrate those skills that you learn through Basic People Street. And you don't have to do anything special. You don't have to go anywhere special. Just be where you are and show those skills that you've learned. And let me tell you, in real life, you will have opportunity after opportunity to do just that. So those are two components of People Street. Let me tell you about the last component. It's an internship. And the internship inspires you to come grow and get involved in your community. Come be with us as an intern. And there's going to be an internship stipend. It says after successful completion of the practicum, the trainee may apply. It's not that everyone is going to be offered the internship. I want to repeat that, reiterate that. After successful completion of the practicum, the trainee may apply for a stipend-sponsored internship among many People Street areas of his or her preference. And I should say, People Street, Basic People Street, Building Blocks for Life is free. So you may ask, what are you giving me? Since I have to come there, spend my time, and give my energy, put forth my energy, then to learn. So what am I getting? Well, Basic People Street Building Blocks for Life is free. The practicum is free. There is a cost attached to the internship. Go online, check out our website, find out a little bit more about that. People skills training and preferences. So you may ask the question, well, tell me a little bit more about the types of People Street that you're talking about. Remember I said that the building blocks, Basic People Street is free. And remember that I also said that the practicum is free. Now, the People Street specific, this is what's included in that. Ability to grasp customer issues. And that comes under the preferences of green occupations. This is more career specific. That's what I'm talking about. Not talking about generic and not talking about the general People Street. This is more career specific. Let me just recap what I said. Ability to grasp customer issues. That's very important in green occupations. The next one, being detail oriented. That's extremely important when it comes to career People Street in management and business. What about strong communication skills? That's professional and related occupations. You know, by training, I'm a school psychologist. Boy, oh boy, is that communication extremely essential to when you're explaining diagnostic data to parents, to students, even to colleagues, because that's not their major, nor is their occupation or professional area my major. So they have to explain it in terms that I can understand. So going back to emphasizing how important strong communication skills are in the professional and related occupations. What about being neat and well-groomed? That goes along with service occupations. We're talking about career-specific work readiness training, which we're calling People Street. Having excellent interpersonal skills. Of course, everyone knows this. Being a salesman. Salesmen, be it men, women, I should say salespeople, understand how important it is to establish a relationship, a connection with the one you are selling to. They'll talk with you about your family. They'll talk with you about your personal goals. Let me tell you, and who do we like talking about most? Obviously, ourselves. Well, sales personnel know that. They get that. What about able to handle rejections? office occupations, again, specific work readiness training called People Street. Someone calls on the phone, you answer the phone, nasty attitude. Oh, you're upset? Maybe because you've had some hassles during the day too. You got to know how to handle that without blowing up. And then good coordination, that's, and someone said, that is so far out there. What is that all about? Farming and fishing. Well, what I say to you is that contact us. Find out more about that, the career-specific training. Make good decisions very quickly. I'm talking about police officers. Okay, I better be so clear on this. I'm not talking about having a pass on post-high school education. Like not going to get an associate's degree at a junior college. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about avoiding or not going for additional training in whatever professional area you're going into. So perhaps it requires college, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or even a doctorate. You're not getting a pass on any of that. The only point we're making, get involved in your community, which is the parent company for Real People, Real Places, as well as for People Street. The only point that People Street is making is that education is vital. It's a must-have. Be it junior college, be it a certificate program, a diploma program, whatever, it's a must-have. You cannot get a diploma through us. We are not an educational institution. We are a program, a service that helps you to get trained in developing a relationship with yourself, a healthy, positive one, and then knowing how to use those skills in developing relationships with others. Because I wouldn't want anyone to harp as well as hop on this and say, oh, now I don't have to graduate from high school, I don't have to go to college. Oh, that is so far from the truth. And that is so much of a misinterpretation of what we're saying. It's just an adjunct to. It's just in addition to. That's all. Making good decisions very quickly. That definitely goes along with middle skills jobs in terms of police officer, ambulance technician, firemen. Those are your middle skills. And I should be very clear too. Do each of these occupations or professional areas have their own people skills training? Undoubtedly they do. They do. As I said before, I'm just reviewing. I don't know any that I have seen and been in, and the most recent one, up-to-date one, is called Year Up. And in Year Up, one of the Ivy Leaguers developed this program. He's the director of it. And it really does, it hones in, it zeroes in on intensely how to develop relationships with others, the work readiness training, as well as the vocational skills training. So it takes urban youth from that setting to like Wall Street. I mean, this is an astronomical kind of program. And it's only been around for the last maybe 2, 3, 4 years at best. It was on 60 Minutes, and then I did a little research on it and went online and read some about it. Plus, I read the article, that they had on it. So there are other projects out there, program services that certainly emphasize and have their own niche of doing it, the work readiness training. We incorporate in ours not only the interpersonal part of it, how to relate and approach others, how to connect with them, how to relate to them, but we also include how to use those social skills on yourself and how to do that connection with you first before you start connecting with others. Let me say this. Technical skills can get you hired, but weak people skills can get what? You fired. People skills training strengthens success everywhere. And there will be a pre-post assessment, just a questionnaire, because we need to know that, first of all, what kind of skill set are you coming in with? And then after the training, the questionnaire will take no more than 5 or 10 minutes. I don't want you to say, oh my goodness, what are they testing me for? No, it's a questionnaire and or survey, and we need to be able to have a way of gauging how successful based on your voice. And in the brochure, we have of course, me, yours truly. I'm the consultant to get involved in your community. And what I said, trainees during their training can be shown on Real People, Real Places, and Real Answers, which is Channel 15, Community Access Channel. And I even put my title in here that I'm a New York State Certified School Psychologist. And Will, who is the president, he has a few words of wisdom to say too. Says, we are first piloting People Street Mobile in phases, and then expanding based upon demand. As the president of Get Involved, he says, Get Involved gladly sponsors People Street Mobile because trainees learn how to develop a relationship with themselves first. This is coming from the president now, and then with others. And secondly, People Street Mobile provides continuity. That's so important. You know, sometimes residents move from one community to the other. Well, since we are coming to you, we're providing the continuity that wherever you are, you may move from 14621 to 14605 or vice versa. Well, the same training is going to be carried from community to community. So therefore, you get the consistency that you need. You won't say, well, okay, he did it this way and she's doing it another way. No, it's all going to be, it's uniform. But there's going to be creativity too. Why? Because you're bringing your creativity, you're bringing your uniqueness to the table. Remember I said during that small group training? That's right. We're going to have the 3 Ds. You're going to decide upon the goal that we're going to be training on. And then secondly, we're going to define the words that we're using in that goal. And then thirdly, we're going to demonstrate it. So everybody's on the same page and we're all walking away as winners. That's what we're doing. Remember that website is getinvolvedinyourcommunity.com and well as getinvolvedmobile@aol.com. Okay, well, there you have it. We have described to you as much in detail as we possibly can now. Contact us. The information is on our website. Enjoy the journey. It's a good one.